Hello, my name is Matthew Sarabia. I'm going to talk about the Honduran Discourse community I belong to. A Discourse community I feel is so special because it's a place you can feel comfortable and it's somewhere you belong because your culture is from there and maybe your family. For me, being Honduran means carrying a unique version of Spanish that sets me apart from other people, especially in Miami, where everybody is usually Cuban. I'm Honduran, and people are from different places, but I don't typically meet Hondurans. Our words and pronunciations and styles of speaking create an identity that I feel deeply connected to, especially since both of my parents come from Honduras. One of the clearest ways us Hondurans set each other apart is vocabulary. For example, we say cipote a lot instead of niño or chamaco, but in other parts of the country, we say chewin. For example, we would say este cipote no se cansa, which means this kid doesn't get tired. Another unique word we have is puchica. It's like saying frick because it is similar to the F word, but less explicit. And it would be like, puchica, se me cayeron todos estos libros en la cabeza, which means frick, all the books fell on my head. Puchica shows frustration, just how the F word and frick show frustration as well. We use a lot of vos instead of tu. It would be like, hey, vos, ¿cómo te va? Which means, hey, how are you? But if you were really tapped in on the culture and slang, you would say, hey, vos, ¿qué pedo? Which in this scenario, pedo doesn't mean fart. It means just like, yo, what's up? That isn't something that you would say to show that you are advanced in Honduran culture. Another thing that sets us Hondurans apart is the way we pronounce the words that start with the letter S or C. For example, usually you would say C, but my mom pronounces it hate with an H sound. I recently had an encounter with this lady at a hotel where my mom asked her if I had grown, and she responded with, he, vos como has crecido te hipote. That shows how different pronunciations are. Because although I am Honduran, I do pronounce the S because I learned Spanish here in Miami. But if I had grown up in Honduras or be a local, I would replace the S sound with the H sound. That goes to show the differences of pronunciation. Honduran slang is slightly different from other slangs because you have your bros and dogs here in the US, but in Honduras, you would say, ¿Qué onda, perro? Which would be like, what up, dog, which is similar to what we say here. One that doesn't correlate with the American dialect would be loco, because you can't say, what's up, crazy, unless you are actually talking to a crazy person. But in Honduras, you can say, mira, loco, mira lo que me pasó, which is something chill and not offensive. Maje is the main thing they use over there. They spam maje because that's what's native to their culture. It means this guy. You would use it, este maje no para de joder, which translates to, this guy doesn't stop annoying me. What makes it also special is the fact both of my parents are from Honduras. So it's not like I learned this culture just from one side of the family, but I really inherited it from both. I do live this language and I do feel like I belong to this discourse community. For example, when we see each other at family gatherings, like my birthday, family and friends come over and I use their slang. And they always laugh, saying, oh my gosh, it's almost like he was born in Honduras. But I wasn't. I was born and raised in the US. They always feel some type of way towards me, and I use their slang and culture so well that they welcome me into their discourse. These words and pronunciation show that language is more than just grammar, but it's culture. People hear the way I speak and the phrases I say, and they put two and two together, and they can pinpoint my ethnicity. It shows how far an accent can take you, from knowing you speak Spanish to knowing where you are from. That is how people differentiate different cultures like Cubans and Venezuelans. When with other Spanish-speaking people, I say more common phrases that are used here in Miami. I'm slowly losing my accent because there are so many cultures here that I try to keep it basic with known phrases. When I'm with Hondurans, I use phrases like el mero queso and el rey del mambo, which is how we say him. Phrases like that are simple, but people from other cultures, not from Honduras, wouldn't get it. In the end, being part of the Honduran discourse community shows how I'm united with the people who speak the same language as me, especially the people from Honduras. Using the same phrases, vocabulary, and pronunciation as me is what sets us Hondurans apart from every other country. The same goes for every country using their own dialect and phrases. Language really ties back to your roots and origin. It plays a big role in that language is always with us because that's what we use to communicate with. Communication is not just language, it also shapes who we are as a person. Thank you.